Barack Hussein Obama, the audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar. I remember in June of 2010, I was in Baghdad, Iraq, and I watched your State of the Union address as a proud young black man to see a black president on the television. But I listened to you as you told the American people that we would not spend any additional resources in Baghdad or in Afghanistan, and we're going to bring our troops home in December of 2014. Right then and there, I knew you couldn't be trusted. Why? Because I'm watching them build sidewalks, build streets, and construct buildings in Baghdad, Iraq in 2010, as you say we're going to leave in 2014. So now that you get on a stage or a platform and try to bully us and belittle us and try to make the world believe that we're not intelligent enough to see what you and the demonic Democratic Party is doing, you're the biggest problem to black people, not the Republican Party. Just because our policies differ or our views differ or our perspectives and values differ, now you want to attack? No, Barack, you're a liar and you're a part of the problem.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it. And she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual. Secondly, I think that it's really sad that you would come out against black men and actually degrade them because they're not picking the person that you want them to vote for. All right. And the last thing that I'm going to say is the moment that I became a Republican and a conservative, that is when I got the most hate from the opposite party. Yep. All right. Being that I'm a conservative, being that I'm a Republican, I've always been accepted. For the little bit of time that I may have been liberal, I never heard anything from the Republicans. They never came out and called me slanderous things. They never came out and called me racist things. The only time that I ever started hearing things about my skin color and about, racism or whatever was when I became a Republican. And that was from Democrats that were saying that. So no, I'm not going to be voting for who you want me to vote for. I'm going to do what I want as a man, and I'm going to be the man that I am. So you don't get to say anything.
Let's really be terrified. They didn't brought out the big guns, Obama. They're starting to realize that more and more of us have been waking up and seeing how they try to get us to vote, not for the person who's best for our communities and who has the best policies that are going to bring positive change, but they want us to vote based on skin color. We see how Kamala Harris did black men when she was the top cop in California, Jamal Truelove. We see how she locked up a single black mother because her child missed too much school, when in reality the child had sickle cell anemia and was in the hospital. We see how she was brought in as the first black woman vice president and played a part in our cost of living going up, our groceries going up, our gas going up, our border being let open for the entire world to come in, and people who've come here illegally getting preferential treatment over people who've been in these communities for decades. Our children being put last, illegal immigrants' children being put first. We see how the media told us that Trump was going to be the one to start World War III, and how under the Biden-Harris administration, we're on the brink of it. We see how the Democrat Party has failed our community, how they've hidden their history of trying to continue slavery, trying to keep blacks from voting, trying to keep Jim Crow going, being the party of the Klan, how they would take us out, and I ain't talking about to eat, when we chose to vote Republican. We see how they have Planned Parenthood buses outside of their conventions and target our community. How insulting is it that this man gets up there and tells us that we should vote for Kamala because we're black? Sorry, Obama, the gig is up. It's over.
Obama, I know you just did not go out in public and try to give a lecture to the black man. Okay, let me make sure that, is this on? Or have you lost your damn mind? First of all, Democrats, Barack Obama don't have no pull with the heterosexual black man. All right? Zero. Is this thing on? He has zero pull with us. He didn't do shit for us. So don't think that we got any reservation for his influence in our circle, and you're gonna come out and tell us to vote for Kamala because she black. The woman not black. We don't mind that she not black. Just stop telling us to vote for her because she is black. That is an Indian and Irish woman with a family from Jamaica. Okay? That's lie number one. Let's stop the lie. Lie number two, she grew up like us. That woman grew up in Canada. She grew up in Canada living a good life. What are we talking about?
Yo, so I'm CJ Pearson, one of the young black men that President Obama yesterday tried to lecture into supporting Kamala Harris just because she, quote, looks like me. Now, guys, I don't know about y'all, but I think that my ancestors fought far too hard for my right to vote in this country for me to support someone just because they look like me. Especially when that person who looks like me doesn't give a damn about me. Kamala Harris, for her entire political career, hasn't done a single thing for black people, black men, or anyone, actually, for that matter. She failed to secure the border. She hasn't created a single job. She is actually probably uniquely terrible at her job. Barack Obama, another person who didn't do a damn thing for black people when he was president, believes that black men should set aside our disagreements, set aside our grievances, and just take one for the team. Barack, we've been taking one for the team when it comes to supporting the Democratic Party for decades. And what do we have to show for it? Our inner cities are destroyed. Violent crime is up. We are living in poverty in too many communities across this country. That is the reality of progressive policies in this country and all across America. So no, Barack, I'm not going to support Kamala Harris because you said that is my duty as a young black man. No, I'm going to support Donald Trump, the president who actually delivered for black people, brought about the lowest black unemployment rate in our nation's history, the president who actually gave a damn about our community. That's not rocket science, Barack. It's common sense.
My, have the tides shifted? Are you kidding me? Barack Obama. I didn't vote for you either time. I saw right through you back then, and unfortunately, so many of my black brothers and sisters, my own family, they couldn't see through you. But now they can. You coming out trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala? Are you freaking kidding me? You sound like a slave master trying to get your slaves back on the plantation. Well, Barack Hussein Obama, you know, I always appreciated the fact that Obama, as an acronym, could also be mentioned. One big ass mistake, America. You didn't do nothing for the black community when you were in office. You pandered to the LGBTQ community, though. Oh, yeah, you pandered to them. You lit up the White House in rainbow colors and everything. What'd you do for the black community? What'd you do for America other than just inflame the race tensions in America? Yeah, that's right. You invited Black Lives Matter to the White House. You shamed Dallas police. You inflamed and stirred up racism in this country like nothing before. It wasn't Trump. It was you, Barack Obama. And now you have the audacity to try to shame black brothers to vote for Kamala? She ain't one of us. She's not pro-American. She's pro-illegal immigrant, period. Shame on you. I'm glad my black, brown, and white brothers and sisters are seeing right through you.
So they sent Obama to come get us and bring us back to the Democratic plantation. They sent Obama back to come get us. He insulted us. He said, I was highly offended when he said the only reason we voting for Donald Trump is because we don't want a woman in president, so we come up with, yo, nigga, shut up. Shut up. You don't speak for me. You don't speak for me. You don't speak for a lot of us. Fuck out of here. You gonna tell us what we think? Come on, man. Who the fuck are y'all? That shit pissed me off, man. Fuck out of here. You gonna tell us how we need to think and what we should think? Man, shut up, man. Fuck out of here. You gonna bring Barack Obama. He gonna play us. First y'all call us low-informed voters, low information voters, misinformed voters. Now you want to come out and throw my mama in this shit. Fuck that. If my mom's was president, I ain't voting for her. My grandmother could be my aunt. I wouldn't vote for them either. If they got the same radical policies. Shit pissing me off, man. Watching this video with this motherfucker, man. This dude gonna come up here and tell us how we need to think. Yo, get the fuck out of here, man. Go back to the White House. Or wherever you came from. Barry. Now you want to address us like brothers. I ain't been your brother. Where was you at in 2008, Negro? Fuck out of here.
What did you think about this comment, sir?
To be honest with you, I don't even care anymore. We've heard this kind of rhetoric from Democrats for far too long. To be blunt, they think they own the black vote, and particularly the black male vote. But the reason why black men are looking at Donald Trump is because when he was president, they were making more money, they were keeping more money, they were moving ahead economically. This massive immigration brought to us by Kamala Harris, they know that what that's doing is it's overwhelming their communities. It's actually taking resources from our kids in schools with young migrant children. It's overwhelming social services. They're getting free hotel stays where you got black people, white people, Hispanic people who are Americans who are living on the streets. They're watching all of this and they're saying this makes no sense at all. And I'll add a third one in there that doesn't get talked much about in the current presidential campaign. This whole thing about it's okay for schools to basically not tell parents that boys can be girls and girls can be boys and to hide that from parents. Woo! Black men are looking at that and they're saying this is trash. Who supports this? They don't support it. And so they're looking at the Democrat Party. They're looking at Kamala Harris and they're saying, you know what? At least when Donald Trump was president, things actually worked right. I don't really care what he tweeted, but the country was moving in a proper direction. So they're saying, why not vote for Donald Trump? At least their lives were better. So when they send Barack Obama or anybody else out there to say that, oh, the brothers aren't standing for Kamala, that's because Kamala's not standing for anybody. She's not said anything of substance. She's hid from the media until right now. And the reason why she's out there talking to media now is because her campaign is a mess and she's losing. And they're trying to reverse course and find some new pathway. She's an empty suit, no real ideas, nothing clear that she can communicate. So people are saying, no, we need leadership. We remember when Donald Trump was president. We've seen Kamala Harris in the White House. That has not worked out. Bring Donald Trump back. That's what's going on.
Right. And I've been looking at clips on social media. Charlemagne the God, who said he's a Kamala Harris supporter. You listen to the people calling into his show. A lot of them are African Americans, and they're outraged by the illegal alien crisis. They're talking about how they're not getting even approved for the $750, right, for the FEMA aid. Meantime, they're giving billions of dollars to the illegal aliens, the debit cards, the fancy hotel rooms. So, Congressman, how big of a deal is the illegal alien crisis? And people need to understand too, the Biden-Harris administration is purposely dumping thousands of these people from 150 some countries into more disadvantaged neighborhoods. They're purposely doing it, so they're further victimizing the very people they claim to be protecting.
No, you're absolutely correct. Look, the entire strategy from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden was to spread the illegal immigration all across the country. They started that back in 2021. I think people don't remember that there were these images that were coming out about kids in cages in the first couple of months of the Harris-Biden administration. And what the Biden administration did at the time is they didn't let the reporters in to see this. They said, we're going to solve this problem, and then when we're done, we'll let you see it. Well, they never let the reporters back in. They started moving this all across the country. This year, Joe Biden signed an executive order to limit the amount of asylum applications at the southern border. But what he also did was open up the CBP1 app, which allows people just to apply online to come into our country. This is insane. And they've spread it all across America. That's why President Trump is in Aurora, Colorado today to highlight what is going on. This is a man-made political disaster brought to us by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And when she's asked about this, she talks about the Senate bill, which was a terrible piece of legislation. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants in the country every single year. It would have allowed for taxpayers to pay for the attorneys of illegal aliens to have their day in court. And it wouldn't even give the president the ability to shut down the border in an efficient manner. It put time limits on that authority. Terrible piece of legislation. That's the only thing she talks about. So this is why black people in particular, but all Americans, are looking at Kamala Harris and they're saying, you're not going to change anything about what's happened with illegal immigration. She said on The View the other day she wouldn't change anything from what's happened over the last 4 years. But then you're going to send old politicians out to tell us that we should be voting for her? Absolutely not. Donald Trump needs to be the next president of the United States. The American people are sick of this.
Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, I'm certainly certainly a partisan. A lot of people call me a partisan, and honestly, it's not something that I'm running away from. It's not something I'm embarrassed by, because it's true. I am a partisan. I don't do journalism. I do editorial pieces. And here's where I'm going with this. Just because I'm an activist, in a way, doesn't mean I can't get along with the other side. It doesn't mean I have a closed mind and I'm not listening, or I can't give credit where credit is due. And I'm sure a lot of my longtime followers know this. Just because I'm on this side doesn't mean I don't applaud when the other side or individuals on the other side do or say the right thing. When Bill Maher hits the nail on the head, I'm the first person to record a video essentially singing his praise. Throughout Anna Kasparian's political evolution, I've done the same thing, and I've even recorded videos that have been positive and supportive of some of the stuff that people like Cenk Uygur have said or done, because I try to be fair. I'm not partisan or loyal to any political party or politicians. I'm only loyal to one thing: ideas and things that I believe are correct or right. And so anyways, I'm sure you guys get where I'm going with this. Regardless of what side you're on, if what you're saying is based, I'm going to give you center stage. I'm going to give you props. And that's exactly what we got here. We got a clip from a longtime left-wing strategist on CNN. And frankly, I mean, she took the words directly out of my mouth. This moment was absolutely incredible. In fact, she had the entire CNN panel shook, silent. You could hear a drop of water. I want to show you guys this incredible moment. I want to give credit where credit is due, even if these individuals are on the other side. This right here is based. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so first off, we need a little bit of context before we get into the actual clip. Basically, the left is panicking. Their internal data must be absolutely horrendous, especially when it comes to the demographics, to the crosstabs. We've seen many polls suggesting that Donald Trump is pulling greater black support than ever before, and of course, the Kamala Harris play for president. Part of the strategy was probably to appeal to black voters. It's not working. I think the left is realizing that, and so they've mobilized Barack Obama now to go out there campaigning, essentially talking down to black men and telling them who to vote for because of the color of their skin.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you.
No. That. Somebody get past me a big tomato. Hit him upside the head. No, you lying to me. Lying like a dog. Lying, dog. Up here lying. With your tight suit on. And toe your drawers. You wearing Hanes? He wearing Hanes, y'all. He done tore up his Hanes. Them tight slacks on.
Knows you. Went to college with you. Understands the struggles.
No. She does not understand any struggles.
Pain
no.
And joy that comes.
No.
From those experiences.
No.
He said to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Political talking points like this are obviously condescending, insulting, frankly, in my view, racist and disgusting. And apparently, I'm not the only one. Apparently, that's not a partisan view. We've got Nina Turner here. I'm sure you guys know who Nina Turner is.
Nina.
She used to work for the Bernie Sanders campaign. She's an avid leftist. I even describe her more as a socialist. Take a look.
Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group?
A tour of media to appeal to men.
They need to appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman?
It might be some listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing black?
She had that panel speechless, and she's totally right on the frickin' money. She asked the question, why are black men being lectured to? Black men being belittled? And that's exactly what it is. I don't even need to really explain it. Vote for Kamala Harris because you and her share a common skin complexion. That is essentially, in essence, what Barack Obama said. It's an insult to your intelligence. And frankly, I think a lot of people are just sick of it. You know, the way black men feel, I think can be described by a clip that popped up on my timeline here of Charles Barkley.
I voted Democratic my entire life. And I'm starting to think like, man, everybody in my hometown is still poor. Man, all the black neighborhoods are still poor. They all go to schools, and we've been voted Democratic for 59 years. I've been on the earth.
Voting for the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity, and people have had enough. They've been told their entire life, vote for the Democrat. It's going to make your life better. It's going to solve all the problems in the inner city. But the Democrat track record is horrible. In many cases, in many neighborhoods, things are worse now than they were before. People have serious issues, and they're starting to research a lot of the top issues of the election. They have legitimate grievances, and now they're being told, put that all aside, stop being a sexist, and vote for Kamala Harris because she's just like you. Give me a freaking break. And it's even worse, I mean, way worse, with Kamala Harris as the subject, because only recently now is she claiming this deep connection to black American roots. Throughout her entire career, she was an Indian woman. The headlines were always the first Indian woman elected. And now all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is talking about Tupac and Biggie, washing her collard greens in the bathtub, and faking an accent at these events. It's a slap in the frickin' face. And people are frustrated with it. They're frustrated with the whole process. But most importantly, I think people are done with the insulting, condescending narrative. Vote for us because of the color of your skin. I'm asking myself the question, why is that only with black voters? Like in a lot of these instances, just change the context a little bit. Could you imagine some big-time politician, possibly a former president, saying, vote for Donald Trump as a white male because he's a white male just like you? First of all, the left would be throwing a hissy fit, claiming that's the most racist thing that's ever been said. And secondly, I think most people, most white men, would frankly tell you to F off. You don't vote based on skin color. You don't vote based on what neighborhood someone grew up in. You vote based on policy and track record. And frankly, I think it's racist to suggest anything different. But again, conclusion here, aside from the condescending element, the insult to voters, the insult to our intelligence, the racism, my take from this situation is that Democrats know they're losing. They're flailing and failing. They don't know what to do anymore, and so they're resorting to this kind of desperate act. They don't have track record to run on. They don't have competence to run on. Kamala Harris has done an abysmal job as a prosecutor, as a senator, as a vice president, and now as a presidential candidate. She's just not convincing people to vote for her. They don't have anything. And so this is what they're doing. And of course, you know that they only pull this card out when their back's against the wall, and so obviously they must be seeing something in their internal polling data that has them panicking when it comes to certain voting demographics. But what I think they don't realize is that it's not just black men. See, black men aren't too different from white men and Asian men and Hispanic men, Indian men. We're all just men with all the same priorities. We want to live good lives. We want a good economy, strong leadership, public safety, and obviously most men just don't think that Kamala Harris can deliver any of that.
Simple.
And no amount of race baiting and racial pandering will change that.